Well, this is Granny Pat talking to you, and you probably won't see much of me unless it's my back and my butt, because I'm going to be showing you, well, let's say I'm going to do a show and tell. This is a special show and tell. It's all about jewelry, and there's not a woman alive that doesn't like jewelry. So, it's going to be long. Get your drink, settle back, and start watching, because I can't do this in just a few minutes. I've got so much to cover, and I want you to see all of it. But if you'll notice, the lighting is not really good on my jewelry, and I've worked and worked trying to figure how I can make things show up better. But just bear with me, and maybe you can see it well enough to appreciate the beauty of all these pieces I'm going to show you. First, I think I'll start with, let's start with this one right back here. If I can get it out. Now, I don't know how well you can see this, because I'm having to get it under the light. But this is 2 necklaces. This is an old necklace. I don't know, probably the 40s or 50s. If you can see that, it's got some of the crystals and the black beads. Now I'm going to lay these aside one by one so that you can see what I've got. Now this is the one I want you to see. Can you see it? Oh yeah. See the beauty, how it sparkles? Okay, let me show you. Whoops. Let's see here. This is what I've got. These are your Borealis beads. They're beautiful. One long strand. When I first moved here, I had a neighbor down the hall. She was very prim and proper, very nice lady. And every now and then, her 2 daughters would call me and ask me to go check on their mother for one reason or another. And I would. She was in her 90s then. And I would go down and I'd check on her. About once or twice a week, I'd knock on her door and we'd talk for a few minutes. And it was just something to help keep her company. But she always wore the prettiest jewelry. And I always commented on her jewelry because it was old. I knew it was old and it was quality. So she was 93 when she died. And her 2 daughters had come to check things out in her apartment and, I don't know, get ready for moving her furniture and things out. And I kept a little arrangement of some sort on my front door. It was usually a basket with greenery and flowers and things in it. And I came home one day and there was a box in the middle of my flower arrangement, and I looked and I opened it up and it was this necklace. The daughters had given it to me, and most likely she had told them to. And I was so pleased to get it. I wish you could appreciate how it sparkles in the light. So, do you like Aurora Borealis? I hope you do, because if you can see this, you can see the blue stones. See those blue stones? Okay. And you really like the Borealis? How do you like this? What do you think? This belonged to Jan and me, and we don't know which beads are whose. So they just stay together, and when we need them, we just go through and pick out what we need. But I think our partying days are over, and our traveling days where we had to dress rather posh are also over. So we've got all of these beads to work with. And I've put them all together and strung them up with a rhinestone belt. Now, I think the next thing I want to show you is this. We'll go with this. Let me put this up here where maybe it catches the light better. Yeah, okay. I don't know what you know about designers of jewelry. I don't know much at all. But a friend gave Jan this necklace. You can see it's really, I don't know what you want to call it. It sure got a lot of beads and it's very heavy. And the first thing she said was, this is a Miriam Haskell necklace. Well, I'd never heard of Miriam Haskell until then. The other day I got to looking on the internet and I wanted to see what I could find about Miriam Haskell. Well, she was a designer between 1920 and 1960, and all of her jewelry was, I guess you'd say, clustered. Lots of little different flowers and beads and whatever, and very clustered, but beautiful jewelry. And when she, when the lady who was showing all of Miriam Haskell's jewelry, she mentioned a designer called, and showed 2 or 3 pieces of this design and said, it's an original by Robert. And I thought, wait a minute. I've got a brooch that has the marking on the back, right on the back. This little round thing right here says original by Robert. But according to her, he calls himself Robert. Well, I guess that, yeah, a little classier. But can you see the pretty cameo? Yeah, there you go. See how pretty that is? I've never seen one in brown. The funny thing is, I bought this back before 1970, and I worked with a lady that she'd inherited her mother-in-law's fine jewelry, and it was fine jewelry. And one day I walked in, and I had on my black wool sheath dress, and at the neck, I had this cameo. And the first thing she said was, is that an original? Well, heavens no. I don't own anything like that. When I got home and took this pin off, I looked on the back, and what did it say? Original by Robert. And I thought, well, I do have an original. So anyway, there's my little cameo, and I've had it since, about the late 60s. So I wanted you to see that piece. Now, let's see. Let's look at this hand piece. Now, these are Jan's pieces right here. And I asked her if I could borrow them so that I could show. And I was in London with my friend, and we had found a vintage clothing shop, and we got on the train and off we went. And we were up, I think it was Strawberry Hill, little park area. We found the vintage shop, and it was the nicest shop I've ever seen. If you're familiar with the early 1950s dress style, they had so many of them, and they were all just beautiful. So I went browsing through and came to the jewelry, and this young lady, I was looking, and I said, I saw this orange bracelet. Really pretty, really pretty. And she said, I think it's a Miriam Haskell. I said, I'll take it. So I bought it for Jan, and it's not marked. There were some Miriam Haskell that were not marked. Now, I'm not positive it is, but she said she thought it was, so I'm going to take her word for it. That's the Miriam Haskell bracelet. I bought it because I had worn Jan's orange brooch. You see the orange brooch? See how bright orange it is? And I said, she's into orange and turquoise these days. I'll get her that bracelet. So there, she had something else to go with her brooch. Now, I'm on vacation again. I'm in South Carolina, and it's Jan's birthday. And I told my friend, I've got to buy something for Jan and send it to her. So we went into Steinmart store. Everybody likes Steinmart. So they have these little baskets sometimes with a red tag on them that means they've been discounted. And in that basket were some bracelets. And there were 2 orange bracelets. These little bangles, they're not very expensive, but they're pretty and Jan wears and did wear a lot of pretty vintage jewelry, but it didn't matter. And I said, I'm going to buy these bracelets. I can just stick them in an envelope and send them to her so she'll know I remembered her birthday. Well, I bought 1 or 2 other items. We got outside the store, and I'm looking at my receipt, and I said, this receipt is not right. I want you to look what she charged me for these 2 bracelets. It says 1 cent each. These couldn't have cost a penny each. So I said, well, wait just a minute. I'm going back in the store and check with the clerk. And I said, you charged me a penny each for these bracelets. And she said, that's right. I said, why? She said, well, these are things that if they don't sell, they go back to the company, wherever. And so they were marked a penny each. So the pleasure of that was when I was able to tell Jan that I spent 2 cents on her birthday present. So that's the little story on that part. Now, I've got a few pieces here that were mine. These were mine. This date to about 1966. It's like a cross. And it was given to me at Christmas we drew names at work, and whoever drew my name. This is what she gave me. So I remember how old it is simply from that. So this is one piece I've saved. And I wore a lot of pins at the neck of my dresses. I was a little smaller then and looked a little more shapely. So I could wear these pretty things. And I always loved this old pin. Just, they're all a little bit heavy, but I always liked them. Let's see what the next one is. Okay, this one. I like this one. It's different. It's peachy pink, and you see the little stones in the center. I don't know what kind of flower. It looked a little bit like a daisy or something. But it also has the earrings to match. If I can get hold of them right. See, the earrings match the pin. So that's another set I saved, all from the 60s and 70s. Here's a big rose. I wore this a lot. See how, can you see? Yeah, there. Pretty rose. I wore it a good bit. And then, here's the enamel. Got the earring too. Just another mustard colored. I wore these a lot. And I'm surprised I still have them. I usually give away things, but these I happen to keep. And I thought I'd show them to you because I don't have very much jewelry. And everything I've got costume jewelry. It's not anything expensive that you'd go out and buy. So, now I want to just and look at this pretty, see this bracelet? Never have had anything to wear it with. But I love that bracelet. Nice fine stone bracelet. I wish you could see it sparkle real good. If I bring it up close, you can't see it. We'll see if you can. Yeah, there you go. See how that looks? But you don't see the blue too well. Okay, so much for that. I'm going to remove that. Now, I know you would like to see the brooches. What I hate to say is, I have used so many brooches in jewelry projects that I don't have the really nice one left. I went through and I found these all in one. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, you can see a little bit. I love those big red earrings. I really like those. And there's nothing special about any of these pieces. They're just what's left of, part of what's left of my brooches. But I love this necklace. There's actually in two necklaces. The blue and has the earrings to match. Just beautiful. Let me see if you can get a close-up of that too. See it? Really pretty, and I love that gold pin. There's those red earrings. One nice thing about all of these earrings is I get to keep them all. Let me show you. These are my rhinestone earrings. Can you see them? There you go. Let's get up close. See if you can see. There's a few. All rhinestones. And I just pick and choose. And because they're clip-ons, Jan doesn't get any of them. So she has pierced ears. So I get to keep all of the rhinestone earrings. Now, over here are a few bracelets. There's nothing special about these bracelets. They're just bangles. Except, let's see, the one I wanted to show you, not even here. These are old ones here, and these are ones I had made when I was into jewelry making. So, you can see, there we go. Can't tell much about them, but anyway, that's part of my bracelets. Put that over there. Now, here's 3 necklaces I made. Okay, here we go again to see what we can do. There we go. I'll show you these. There's 3 necklaces on here. Let's see what we got here. These have little light green and gold stones. No, you can't see them. This is a shame. These things are so pretty. And I really wanted you to be able to appreciate them. This is one I made. Here is another one I made. This one is, I think, a very nice winter necklace. All browns. Various sizes and shapes. And then this one has a little dangle thing on the end. And the dangle is also brown in the brown stones. So anyway, that just gives you an idea of some of the jewelry. But what I wanted is, what did I do with it? Okay, here. These are the prettier pieces. I thought you'd like to see them on the Can you see that? See how that looks? A double strand. That's one that I made. Take a good look. Those are really pretty stones. Now I'll show you another one. Here's a solid red. Bring it forward so you can get a close-up of it. There we go. Those red beads are very, very pretty. Faceted beads. Very nice. Even if I did make it myself. Let's see if there's anything else here I want you to see. Yeah, there's a couple more. I'll show you. Can you see that? Okay, we have to bring them up close. Yeah. I can hold it still. Okay. And I'll show you one more. I can find it here. It's very similar to that one. These all have earrings to match. Yeah, that doesn't do much for it, does it? Okay. I sold quite a few, and these are just some that were left over. I'm not going to show you any more of those. We're going to move on. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of things. I may have another story or two still somewhere along the way. But I'll put this aside too. And I wanted to show you this. There's a necklace in this box that's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. But when I tried to take it out and look at it, it's so delicate and dainty, you can't tell anything about it. I'll see if you can, if I get it up close to the screen. Maybe you can tell a little bit about it. But there's two necklaces, a bracelet, a pair of pierced earrings, and a pair of clip earrings. Oh golly, I want you to see this so bad. Well, I'm not having any luck. Can you see it? Can you just look at one piece? Got the turquoise little stones, they're glued in. I have decided these were handmade. And the filigree you see is little white, teeny tiny wires twisted round and round and round. So tiny, all that filigree it's like wire twisted round and round. Sure hope you can get it a little bit. Well, come on, stay still. But I got this from a friend of Jan's. His mother had died, and that woman collected everything you can think of collect, including hotel soaps. She had 2 big boxes in her garage. You know those little hotel soaps that you take home with you? She had 2 big boxes filled with hotel soap. Now, why in the world would anybody want to collect something like that? This is a pin I did. I already had the brooch, and I'll have to describe it to you. I want you to see it good. Can you see? Well, come on now. You see the lady here, that's her hand, and there's her face. There you go. And you see she's wearing a hat. Well, it was almost time for Derby, and I said, some lady would like to wear this to the Derby, because of course the most famous thing about the Derby are the ladies' hats. So I took that pin, I added, you see the feather, the big feather, added the feather, this leaf, it's whitish looking leaf, little yellow flowers, and the borealis earring that I stuck in there, right there. And it's got rhinestones around it. So I completed this beautiful brooch from adding parts of other jewelry to it. But nobody ever wore it to the Derby, so I'll save it for another Derby day. Oh, I want you to see these. This is more of the vintage jewelry. I think these are just beautiful. That's two necklaces, two different necklaces. But I thought they looked so good together on this stand. Those are just big white pearly looking stones. And of course your vintage rhinestone necklace. Okay, we want to get into push some of these things back, get them out of the way, and I'm going to show you see what I've got here. Okay, here's something for you. I'm going to have to hold this up, hope you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You see, those are all enamel brooches. Now I'm going to show you what you can do with those brooches. I just happened to have this shadow box and was able to just put all the pins in there and didn't have to take the backs off of them or anything. You can wear them, take them out and wear them. But I just clustered them in there so that you can see the variety. Now these are Jan's enamel pins. This is one of the things she did collect. I'm going to put it back and I'm going to show you what can be done with those enamel pins. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. You're gonna like this, even if I was the one that made it. Because I like it too, and I rarely am fond of the things I do. Now, can you see that? Take a good look. These were all of Jan's enamel brooches that she has collected. And she handed them to me and said, do something with them. Ordinarily, I'm not fond of making things shaped like hearts. I don't know why. It's sort of I think of jewelry and things with hearts as a romantic idea. But anyway, take a good look at that. This is a butterfly right here. See if I can get a little closer. And you can see that butterfly. Yeah, and you see the variety of flowers. Aren't they pretty? Go around. And she had a very nice selection of, and of course you see, these are all behind glass. That was the important thing with me in doing framing jewelry and pins and things. When you put them on velvet, you get dust. I didn't want dust. I said, so I spent a lot of time searching for frames. Now the next one you're gonna really like. I'll put this one back and get the next one. want you to see it yet. This belongs to Jan. This is her jewelry. Can you see that? Okay, let me bring it forward. A little at a time. These are brooches, earrings, and pins. I use strings of rhinestones for the stems. Little bow, that's a brooch. And you can see all the pretty pins and earrings. And the nice thing about the jewelry is these are pieces where the backs have come off, or sometimes they lose one or two stones, some little something like that. Well, I can hide those flaws by placing a small earring or piece of a pin. I can take the old brooches apart and use them in sections. So you see this box, let me show you. Well, somehow or other, this opens. The box opens. There you are. It's well protected. I'm trying to think what's next. Before I get to the major item, I'll show you something. This is for people who enjoy working with jewelry and creating things. A lot of people do the framed pictures, but not many do them with a cover of glass. Now you can see that picture right over, come on, I'm going the wrong way. See that little picture right up there? Well, that's one on velvet that is not covered in glass. And above it is another one that is covered in glass. And I was running low on my brooches and things, and I wasn't real happy with the colors and all, so I decided I wasn't going to let anybody have that one. I'd just keep it myself. So I'm pretty particular about things like that, and I never do anything twice. I never make the same thing twice. What I wanted to show you was, you know what these little things are, don't you? These are Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw containers, and I save them. You know what I use them for? These have got my jewelry parts in them. See all these little things? All these things inside? The beads and the little flowers and the rhinestones, the parts of you see some little flowers in there. They're fillers. And I've got a whole box of them. All kinds of things. See, these are mostly, I think, rhinestones. I don't know. Anyway, these are wonderful for when you want to separate your jewelry parts. And because when I start looking, I hunt. I spend more time looking for something if I keep them organized and separated by categories, I can look through the bottom of my little container and see which box I want. So I want to pass along that little hint to people who work with jewelry. Save your Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw containers. The next item I'm going to show you is special, very special. First I have to go around. I'm just like the road runner. Stay with me, I'm coming back. Let me clear the table so I can be ready for what I want you to see. I think you're gonna like it. At first, I have to tell you, my daughter buried 2 husbands in 4 years. The first one she was married to for 31 years. And the second one, she'd been married just a little over a year. Wonderful fella. His name was Denny. What I'm showing you is something I made. I made this special for Jan and Denny's wedding. I hope you can get a good look at it. It's not showing up that pretty, but I'm going to give it a try. This is wedding picture. You can see it. I'm going to give you a close-up. That's Denny and Jan. And Jan is carrying her bridal bouquet of all of her brooches that I made into the bouquet. Denny is wearing one of her brooches as a lapel pin. And the dress she wore was just beautiful. So, it was a beautiful, small wedding, and that's what she wanted. She didn't want flowers. See if I can get up close to it like that. She wanted it red and white, so all of those red flowers that you see are brooches. Now I'm gonna, hopefully, you see all these beads, pearls, the borealis necklace with different stones. These, I'm gonna give it a try. I have to be very careful because this is very heavy. I want you to get a good look at down the front, and you see the red brooches scattered among all of the rhinestones. It took me a couple weeks to get this completed. You see how long the strands of beads were. So she keeps this sitting in her bedroom, and she wanted me to show it to you. And I think you will appreciate the beauty of it. So, and how pretty they looked. One one of the happiest couples I've ever known. So that pretty much completes what I wanted you to see of my jewelry collection, my jewelry making. I don't make much jewelry anymore. In fact, I don't make any anymore. But I enjoyed it while I was doing it. This tells you what I do with my spare time. And my spare time is all the time, because I don't have any obligations of any kind, except to get up in the morning, go to bed at night, and eat 3 meals a day. I go to the bathroom in between. I hope you've enjoyed watching these, and I wish I could have given you a better show, but I did the best I could. So I want to hear comments from you. If you have any questions, talk about being a craft person. That's what I am. Always have been, and I always like to be busy with a project. So don't let old age get in the way of enjoying life. So I'm going to click you off. Can you see me? I got a pair of glasses you haven't seen. Yeah, see those? They're those little thin things. But they work. So, okay, let's see if my clicker works. And you keep your eye on this pretty bouquet. Well, you knew it wouldn't work, didn't you? Let's do it this way.